Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Could I just start by saying it's a great honor to speak at a function named in honor of Geoffrey Chandler. Geoffrey Chandler wrote the original Shell business principles in the early 70s, which was a remarkably foresighted document which had influenced my 40-year career in Shell. Secondly, looking forward for the next 5 years, on the protect side, the government side, I frankly am not very optimistic about a great deal of change. That's human nature and government. Some will get better, some will undoubtedly get worse. I think the really interesting bits are in the respect and remedy parts of the Ruggie mandate, for which I also have a great respect. I think he did a fantastic job. In the respect bit, we heard before, at the beginning, some appalling examples of corporate complicity in human rights or direct engagement in human rights abuses. But I thought they were also balanced by some contributions. And I would hope that in the next 5 years, we would see an increase. This is a glass half full, glass half empty job, that we would see increasingly people looking at the positive contributions of corporations, not in philanthropy, but within their own operations. Employing people in discrimination-free environments, employing people of different backgrounds, getting them to work together on corporate projects. If people work together, it eliminates barriers, and people from different backgrounds can share common impacts. On the supply chain, work in that. On almost every one of these, there are potential difficulties and dangers. The UN Global Compact has just produced a guidance document for operating in conflict-sensitive zones. And we struggled because one part of the community wanted to put in the don't do this, don't do that, and the other side kept putting in, but look at the positive sides. And we need both, but I would hope that in the next 5 years we would see an increase in the positive side. Not that I am hugely optimistic about a decrease in the negative side. One has to be realistic. And if one looks at difficult countries, Sudan, Burma, Myanmar was mentioned, Iran. I think if we had changed the approach in Iran, or even in Sudan, we would actually have a different outcome today. I think the Western approach to Iran, we got the government after 20 years of trying, which we really deserve. And I think that business has a significant role to play in that. On the remedy side, that's also glass half full and glass half empty, but in this case, it's the corporations who look at it as half empty. If you say remedy to a corporation, they think of the US Alien Tort Act, overpaid US lawyers, money-grubbing folk, and a whole panoply of pain in the neck, which lands up with a settlement which is not justice, but simply to cut the whole process off. And that's a pity, because the remedy bit, I think, is very much in how you build relations from the outset with communities, with targets, and not exactly complaint mechanisms, but feedback mechanisms, which can be complaint mechanisms and can lead to remedies. So a clarity in that. And I think we in corporations are not doing enough work on that. I know in the extractive industry, some companies are working on it, but it's a very important way forward, and it's extremely important to have, this is not something that corporations can do on their own. We need the assistance of civil society organizations. So some of the things that my colleague on the left has been doing are absolutely essential, because corporations do not themselves, we do not have the trust with society to do it. And frankly, if you left it all to us, human nature being what it is, it would get tilted in favor of corporations. So I think there's a huge amount of work which I hope will progress in the next 5 years on the remedy side, because that's what lies at the fundamentals of many of the problems that we see. Thank you.